2, 1. Did you know that more than 70% of people are unsatisfied with their career choices? According to JT O'Donnell from corporated.com, this is true. And you might think that just may be the cost of doing business, but it's been proven that this can affect all other areas of your life. While I've never had my heart set on raking in millions, I've always dreamt of doing a job that I love, and one that doesn't consume my more important non-working time. Luckily, my passions have always been clear to me. I love storytelling and language arts, and I love to have these things as a profession. I've been obsessed with comic books and fantasy ever since I was a kid, and I've since become an expert in my corner of the geek world. More practically, though, my hobby is language. I've spoken French for several years now, and I work every day to master Portuguese as well. Now, my 3 main goals build off of each other, and they all revolve around the concept of creating time. In the near future, I hope to make a living doing odd jobs, which would allow me to create my own business as a translator. Then, with the time gained from being my own boss and having control of my own schedule, I'd be able to pursue my loftiest dream of becoming a writer. Now, the first thing that I've been working on in order to break the bonds of the rat race that is making a living is establishing different ways to bring in an income from the comfort of my home. I've begun to apply for small-time writing jobs for companies on social media pages or simply websites that hire writers per article. And I also hope to give English lessons online to second language speakers. After building a new schedule, I hope to be able to use this time to establish myself in translation and pursue my passions. Over years of being a student of language, I hope to establish myself with enough clients to be able to do it full-time. Hopefully with a degree in business, it would aid me to insert myself into the market without previous employment in translation. However, if working for a large translation firm proves a necessary step in order to make myself more marketable, I would always be willing to do that as well. Now, my highest goal in life, while it may not bring financial security like the goals of some others, would be to write fiction for a living. Ever since I can remember, I've been charmed by fictional storytelling, specifically comic books, and I've poured endless research into different mediums of storytelling. And while I know that becoming a writer requires a lot more than time, I also believe that the time gained from completing my 2 previous goals will aid me tremendously in completing written works. Now, although I don't plan to make it my first priority anytime soon, I also know one doesn't become a writer overnight. And in the meantime that I pursue my other goals, I'm always practicing, partially for pleasure and partially out of determination. Now, one of the biggest obstacles that I foresee in my path is self-motivation. Without any bosses to force me along, I would have to push myself harder and harder every day. And I believe I'll be able to scale this wall through pure passion in my pursuits and through maturity gained along the way. Another obstacle that stands in my way is doubt. At times when things are looking down, it would be easy to heed people's advice and go back to a steady job. However, I believe that this would set me back on my path, and I must remain steadfast. In summation, my 3 primary goals in life aren't necessarily related, but the ways that I plan to achieve them make them like building blocks to the precipice of ambition. By manipulating time, I hope to free myself from one of life's biggest restraints and pursue my passions, starting realistically and working into fantasy. It will be difficult to measure my progress before I see success, but through focused passion and an ever-curious mind, I plan to escape the statistics. If many people could achieve their dreams by abandoning fear, I must ask, why not me?